What island?
On Hawaii in Kona.
Oh, okay. The Big Island. All right, so are we rolling?
We're live.
We're live, okay. So we want to take a few minutes and talk a little bit about self connection, or connection to self, or self awareness. So tell us what that means to you.
It means a lot of things, but really what it comes down to is when I'm thinking of self-connection, I'm thinking of learning how to trust my gut, learning how to tune in and figure out who I am, what I want, what I'm feeling, where that feeling is coming from, and learning how to shift that. When I learn how to connect to self and I learn how to connect to my soul, my being, and identify who I'm being in that moment. So if, say I'm driving in traffic and I am there, let me rephrase that. I remember there's a cartoon I saw, and it was of two different men in their car, and they were both in the same traffic on the way to the same job, due there at the same time. And one of them was ripping his hair out, and he's on the steering wheel, and he's got cuss words flying, and like he's trying to dip in between each car and not going anywhere. And then there was the guy who was just chilled back, window was down, he was whistling tunes to the radio, just waiting. And I look at that as one guy is completely like aware that like he's at peace, right? The outside world doesn't affect him. And that is what I feel like happens for me when it comes to connection to self. When I can be aware of who I'm being in this moment, do I want to be experiencing this? If not, what would I rather be experiencing? And choosing that.
Well, that's a difficult process.
Absolutely.
And it's
Absolutely.
one that most people don't have a roadmap to get. I know that in 12-step programs, there is an opportunity to get to know yourself through working steps because you have to write all about yourself. And so there's a certain self-awareness that grows out of that. But a lot of people are not addicts. They're just living life. So what would be your first suggestion to them if they're on the journey to self-awareness and they want to be connected? Oh, get a coach.
Get a
okay,
coach.
Talk about that.
So I truly believe that, and if you're going to get a coach, and I was just talking to a girlfriend, a colleague about this, if you're going to hire a coach, find out who their coach is. Don't hire a coach if they don't believe in the work. Mm-hmm. If they're not a product of the work. Just like you wouldn't, if you're in the program and you wouldn't get a sponsor that hasn't worked the steps or that doesn't have a sponsor.
100%.
So why would you get a coach that doesn't have a coach? So find out who their coach is. But definitely get a coach because it's like swimming in a pool and not knowing how to swim. You need someone there guiding you through the process, holding that mirror up for you so you can self-reflect and realize, who am I being? Am I being patient enough? Am I expecting too much from myself? Am I shooting too high? Do I need to take a smaller step? Because I've truly found that those who need the biggest changes and who have the most difficulty connecting to self, who are most uncomfortable connecting to self, need to start with the smallest steps. Being, if someone has, 100 pounds to lose, maybe the first step isn't going to the gym. Maybe the first step is standing up and down on the couch, like getting up and sitting down 10 times, a couple times a day. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's the first step. And maybe it's simply, if it comes to changing their food, maybe the first step is simply adding one more 8-ounce bottle of water.
And so a connection to self would be, let's say I'm trying to lose 100 pounds and I want to eat something to soothe my feelings. Instead, we're suggesting an activity or some other way to self-soothe versus the and you can only do that if you're self-aware and you realize, I'm soothing myself right now. That's why I'm eating.
So
right.
What you said was, when I'm going to grab something to eat to soothe myself. Unfortunately, we don't connect. That's what we're doing. We're just thinking, food, yum, yes.
Yeah.
Right? And we go for it. And that's because we're not self-aware. We're not connected to self.
Right.
We're completely disconnected and not paying attention to what we're doing and who we're being. We're not paying attention to, what am I looking for? Am I actually hungry? If so, what is the best way I can serve my body? What kind of food
And am I
the
hungry
best
for
foods?
food or am I hungry for something else?
Exactly, because there is hunger going
Right.
on, but it's not necessarily for food.
And
It could be
self-awareness
for-
would help you discover what it was you were
Yes.
hungry for.
Yes.
Cool.
And it's difficult. And it's something that you have to start. It's a process.
It's
a
a
learning
practice.
process. Yes. And it's a method that you can become skilled at. So we were talking about that earlier as well. That there is always, what if every action had a positive intention? What if devouring the whole tub of ice cream, right? Where we go and we self-reflect and we're like, oh, bad girl, you shouldn't have done that. Like, you're trying to lose weight. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's not the kind of self-reflection I'm talking about. That's not the type of self-connection I'm talking about. I'm talking about getting curious, not judgmental. Isn't it interesting that I just ate a whole tub of ice cream?
Why did I do that?
What was I looking for? What was the intention behind it? Was it, did I have a sugar craving? Was my body craving glucose? Probably not. There's probably a lot more behind it because it stopped craving it after the first bite of ice cream, okay? Now it's like some kind of emotional thing I'm looking for, I'm sure. So what was I looking for? Am I looking for some kind of comfort? Was there some other method? Because I've become skilled at the method of eating ice cream to self-soothe, right? I've become skilled at that, so I'm good at it.
Yeah.
I have to check in with self and find out, is there another way? Can I check in with that part of me and find out, is there any other way that I can soothe that part of me?
But you can only do that if you have self-awareness and you have a connection to self. So I'm really excited about your upcoming workshop this weekend on Sunday.
Yes, so excited. I can't believe it's only a few days away. I still get to go shopping. I think honestly my favorite part about the workshops is setting up the charcuterie table.
Nice.
It's so much fun.
And they're beautiful.
Oh, thank you. It's
Absolutely
fun.
beautiful.
There's on Instagram, a colleague of mine, her daughter's on Instagram, Boards by Kemper.
Ooh.
And she is so talented and I'm 100% inspired by her every single time. So if you
Nice.
have Instagram, go check her out. I promise you, if you don't know how to do a charcuterie board, just copy one of hers and they're amazing. Or hire her, have her. But I know her locals are so lucky to have her. Anyway, so we're gonna have food for sure. There's gonna be sparkling refreshments, and most importantly, we're gonna be learning how to connect to self. We're gonna be learning how to look at what are all the areas in my life that exist, right? From health to fitness to home cooking to joy to spirituality, relationships. Yes, we're going to look at all of them. And we're going to decide, okay, where on this wheel is all of my attention going? And where is maybe not enough attention going? What maybe needs to be a little bit more nourished in my life? And we're going to start connecting there. And we're going to start looking at what are some of the activities that I can add in, or what are some of the activities I'm overdoing that I can maybe like phase out or delegate or automate.
Right.
And by doing that and by checking in and looking at what my weak leaks are, looking at where I may need to up level a little bit, I'm going to be learning how to build that healthier relationship and awareness with myself. And by doing that, I'm not going to be blaming my discomfort on other people. I'm not going to be looking for that comfort in other
that's
people.
so good.
I'm going to be looking for that comfort on my own terms with my own self-awareness and self-connection. And so when I do that and I'm learning how to fulfill my own needs, I won't be searching desperately for those needs to be filled by anybody else. And instead I can fill my own life. And when there's someone who adds to that, I can invite them into my life. And I can recognize when they don't.
Sure.
And I can recognize when they're depleting me or taking from or not really serving my best interests.
And so we're going to get to learn all about that on Sunday at 1 o'clock.
Sunday from 1 to 4 right here at Core Resolution
The
Systems.
Art of Connection. So come and join us Sunday. We'll see you there. Thanks.
Looking forward to it, guys.
Yes, absolutely.